What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, two-division world champion who simultaneously holds the WBA 130 and 135. He's a four-time world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, and hip-hop artist and superstar Tekashi 69, who's a native New Yorker from Brooklyn, is a rapper, entertainer. They get into an altercation, a massive altercation in Florida at a nightclub in which they both were featured to be at this particular nightclub. I guess the club itself was paying for them to be there, and they exchanged words because Gervonta Tank Davis he was upset. He says, if you don't know about Tekashi 69, got himself into a little bit of trouble in which Tekashi 69 ultimately, he turned cold, right? He gave up his friends. He gave up his the people in his group surrounding him. Who he called his friends. For some activities that he just didn't want to continue himself. So he was incarcerated, and he spoke on a stand. That's how I'm gonna put that. Okay, and he didn't hide it. Right? He said that everybody was turning their back on him. Nobody was loyal to him. So why did he have to be loyal to them? Tekashi 69, you can see he did a whole podcast. He did a few interviews to explain his part and why he did what he did. Why did he tell on his friends? And so a lot of people don't respect that, especially in the urban neighborhoods. That's frowned upon, right? That's not respected. So a lot of people don't respect him. And so Gervonta Tank Davis is one of those people who stated that, if I would have knew that I was going to be in the same vicinity as a guy like him with the tendencies that he has, I would have never agreed to this. And then they got into a war of words, and Tekashi 69 is seen on camera throwing stacks of money at Gervonta Tank Davis. And then Gervonta Tank Davis tries to make his way over to Tekashi 69 so he could essentially put hands on Tekashi 69. But obviously Tekashi 69 is surrounded by law enforcement. He has plenty of security, plenty of bodyguards, because Tekashi 69 always finds himself in serious situations, and he puts himself in these serious situations. So with that said, Tekashi 69 was not going to allow Gervonta Tank Davis to get anywhere within 10 feet of him. But he was, egging on the situation as he was throwing stacks of money upon stacks of money at Gervonta Tank Davis, who had to be retained in this situation because Gervonta Tank Davis does not play those games, and Gervonta Tank Davis was trying to make his way as best as he could over to Tekashi 69. He just wasn't allowed to get there. And luckily for both guys involved, because obviously Tekashi 69 doesn't have a problem with telling people what took place, right? He doesn't mind explaining exactly the situation, meaning that he don't mind telling on Gervonta Tank Davis, who is hands are registered. Obviously, he's a combat sports athlete. He's a professional. He has knockouts on his resume. He just recently knocked out brutally four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Leo Santa Cruz in his last fight. So we all know that what he could do some serious damage to a person, right? And so you imagine if he could do that to another professional athlete, another professional boxer in his own profession, and he's considered one of the best in his own profession, you can imagine what he would do to a law-abiding citizen, right? He just happens to be a well-known law-abiding citizen. He happens to be an entertainer. But, Tekashi 69, he is admitting of, he takes his opportunities to troll people, right? He says that this is how, essentially he started making his money, right? And originally, before he became a big-time hip-hop artist, Tekashi 69 was indeed, doing prank videos. He was trolling people, right? So this is what he started to base his career off of. This is the foundation of it. So you knew that he was going to, essentially, he was going to provoke Gervonta Tank Davis as much as possible. He was going to poke that sleeping bear. So as many times as he can, you can expect Gervonta Tank Davis to be very upset, who has a short fuse anyway. And like I said, he's in combat sports. Let's just look at this video. You can see Tekashi 6ix9ine in this video, and he's throwing money at Gervonta Tank Davis, and he's taunting Gervonta Tank Davis in this video. You can see him throwing stacks upon stacks upon stacks of money at Gervonta Tank Davis, right? He wants to get a reaction out of Gervonta Tank Davis. You see him right there. He's taking the bands off of the stacks of money. He's talking to Gervonta Tank Davis. He's telling him, oh, go ahead and come up here. Come see me up here, right? Let's make it happen, right? But we know what would happen if Gervonta Tank Davis actually made his way to that stage and actually got close enough to Tekashi 6ix9ine. We know the outcome of that, right? Because we know that's not what Tekashi 6ix9ine is all about. That's not what he's about, right? He's about entertaining people, right? He makes it well known that this is his profession. He's a hip-hop artist. He makes good music, and he's looking to troll people, right? He wants to get as much attention as possible. And so you see him with the bands of money right there, and he's talking to Gervonta Tank Davis right there. And you see him right there. He's unpacking the money, and he's throwing it at Gervonta Tank Davis. And then there's footage of Gervonta Tank Davis trying to make his way over to Tekashi 6ix9ine, and he's being retained because, you know, nobody wants that. It's going to be a bad outcome if Gervonta Tank Davis did make his way and essentially get to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Gervonta Tank Davis said that he don't want to be in the vicinity of a guy that's known to be telling on other people. He says that's not the makeup of who he is, and he would not have agreed, you know, to be featured at this particular club down in Florida if he knew Tekashi 6ix9ine was going to be there. Obviously, Tekashi 6ix9ine is very successful at what he does, entertaining and trolling people. Gervonta Tank Davis is very successful at what he does, entertaining people, but he does it for real inside the boxing ring, right? There is no joking about what he do. You don't play boxing. We saw that last night when Nate Robinson, basketball superstar, who tried to attempt to compete in the sport of boxing, and he did so on the lower level against another YouTuber who makes videos and things of that nature, who just started making his way into the sport of boxing, but he has far more experience than Nate Robinson does. He dramatically knocked out Nate Robinson, and Nate Robinson has been going viral on social media ever since then, right? We saw Nate Robinson laid out on the canvas face down, and so he went viral because of that. He dropped Nate Robinson about 4 times in the fight before he ultimately knocked him out. And Jake Paul is not even a massive boxer. So you can imagine Tekashi 6ix9ine is not a big guy either. So you can imagine if Gervonta Tank Davis, with the experience and just who he is and what he brings, to combat sports, you can imagine what he can do to a person who is, like I said, a law-abiding citizen, right? So, that's a good thing for both guys, because essentially that could have been, very bad for Gervonta Tank Davis's career. A guy like Tekashi 6ix9ine, that's very good for his career, right? Because that's what he's all about. He's about getting as much attention as possible. That's why he was trying to his best abilities to provoke Gervonta Tank Davis as much as he possibly can. But I'm glad that they did not allow Gervonta Tank Davis to make his way over to Tekashi 6ix9ine, because that could have ultimately hindered, this part of his early part of 2021 in his career, because, that wouldn't go over well, right? Because you have to know your limitations as a professional combat athlete. Your hands are registered. You cannot just be going over because you have a verbal altercation. You can't just go out there and let them fly. The court system is not going to allow that. And we already know Tekashi 6ix9ine has a relationship with that entire situation. So that wouldn't have been a good situation for Gervonta Tank Davis. The sky's the limit for Gervonta Tank Davis, and ultimately in his boxing career, he has so much to lose. It's not worth it, right? Especially for, invisible, unwritten rule that, that's just not accepted within the urban communities, right? They don't like people who tell on other people. So with that said, that just wouldn't have boded well for Gervonta Tank Davis. No, it's just best that they go their separate ways, right? You don't have to agree to disagree. You don't have to be in his circle, and he don't have to be in your circle, right? You could be on 2 separate sides sides of this gentleman's club, you know, and you do what you have to do and get up out of there. You know, ultimately, I don't believe Gervonta Tank Davis should be in that situation at all anyway, because he needs to be focusing on training. He needs to be disciplined in between fights, in between, you know, which should be another massive pay-per-view event for Gervonta Tank Davis. He needs to be focusing on his weight. He struggles with weight. A lot of people already peg him as not being disciplined outside of the boxing ring, right? So he shouldn't have been in this club to begin with. So can you imagine if things would have went south with Tekashi 6ix9ine, how that would have looked for Gervonta Tank Davis in his career, who's trying to turn over a new leaf and be disciplined in between fights? That wouldn't have looked well. So I'm glad it ended the way it did. Nobody got hurt. They went their separate ways. Little money was thrown, little verbal altercation, but no more than that. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.